Hi everybody, this is Cassie and I am the CPA Marketing Chair, and this is your 5-minute tip for the week. And today I am joined by Shelly Wilhelm, independent children's book consultant for My Word Publishing. Hello, Shelly.
Hi, Cassie.
It's good to see you here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Happy to.
Okay, so you're going to talk about 5 tips for writing a children's book, because I know that you are a children's book expert. And I'd like to know, what are 5, not the, but what are 5 things that people should know when getting into writing a children's book?
I always think the main thing and the most important thing to start with is doing your research. You want to look at the books that are out there in the marketplace, go to a children's bookstore, go to the library, look online, because what you're looking for are the current styles, the trends. You want to make sure that your book is not inundated with thousands of other books with the same idea. Okay. And you want to know what appeals to you. Covers, pictures, font. And then I think it's a good idea to watch kids in your space, how they respond to different kinds of books.
Okay, that's great. So do your research. What is number 2?
I think that you should always have at least a manuscript review with a professional. That person is going to, again, point out how many books are like yours in the space. They might help you find the piece of your book that is really, really unique so that you can concentrate on that. And they'll help you see your book in full. In a children's picture book, everything goes into it. The illustrations, the words, the font, the layout. It's good to have somebody work through those ideas with you.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so then we have do your research and consult with a professional, it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Number 3.
I think it's important to remember that when you're hiring somebody to edit your children's book, they're not just looking at the words. A children's story in a picture book is told as much through the illustrations as it is through the words. So if you're hiring an editor to work with you, they're looking again at the overview of your book. Often an author will come to me with a really long manuscript, and what I know is that a lot of the words in their manuscript are actually notes to their illustrator.
Ooh.
They're describing the setting.
Okay, gotcha. I like it. So is that your 3rd tip then? Make sure that you work with an editor, not just an illustrator?
Yes, I would say work with an editor, and remember your editor is looking at the whole picture, not just the words.
Perfect. I love how we're going through these tips. So just to recap, do your research. I really like that because you really are in a space that you probably really love, and you want to make sure that your work is unique. Then
you don't want to be the 50th person who has a book about a dog getting his tonsils out.
Gotcha.
If your book is about a dog getting his tonsils out, make sure you're saying something really unique with it.
Okay, perfect. And then we have number 2, which is contact a pro. Number 3, make sure that you make a difference between editor and illustrator. And what is number 4, Shelly? I'm so intrigued.
I think for number 4, you want to make sure that you have a contract with your illustrator. People often, when they're doing a children's book on their own, they're using a friend or a child, a neighbor, somebody they know really well to do their illustrations. And I actually think that's a great idea, because the illustrations for your picture book are usually the most expensive part of your book, and they take the longest.
Okay.
But just because you know them, just because they're your son or your daughter, you need a contract and you need to pay them, because that keeps both the illustrator and the author accountable.
I love that. So even with friends, have a contract.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So what's this last tip? I'm excited about this 5th tip.
Well, on the 5th tip, I think that you should make sure that your book is the right size. And I know that that sounds kind of obvious to you, but we often have people who really want to do a book that's a landscape, because major publishing houses love landscape size books, and so do we. But when you're doing a print-on-demand book, you can't do it in a landscape size at this point. The most common size for a print-on-demand book in a children's market is 8.5 by 11. There's other sizes available, and there's a lot of good reasons to go with a different size, but it's a decision that you need to research again and decide upon before your illustrator is too far into his process.
Oh, his or hers?
Yeah, his or her.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. No, I love that, especially because there are so many things that need to come together before it sounds like the size of the book, especially for the illustration and definitely the editing, I'm sure.
And different topics, different subjects in children's books might be more, might work better in a different size.
Got it.
There's particular sizes that suit different subjects.
I love it. All right, Shelly, thanks so much for the information. So tell us, how can we get a hold of you if we want to know more than these 5 tips?
My email is Shelly, Shelly, at mywordpublishing.com.
Okay.
And my phone number is 720-838-6800. Or you can look for me on the My Word Publishing website.
Sounds great. All right, Shelly, thank you so much for your time. And we'll see you guys again next week for your next 5-minute tip. Bye-bye.